All right, so today we're answering maybe the number one softball question I get asked, and it's how to hit a rise ball. There's a bunch of misconceptions when it comes to the rise ball. Here's the first one, that the ball actually rises. If the ball is a strike, if it's in the strike zone, the ball does not rise. The ball still goes down. So every pitch in the strike zone is going down, whether it's a rise ball or not a rise ball. So that's the first thing and the biggest misconception. The second misconception is that on a rise ball, that you want to swing down to a rise ball. So I see so many players, give me an example, Nick, of what it looks like. So a player gets a rise ball at the top of the zone, and players think that they're supposed to attack the ball this way. Exactly. We don't attack a rise ball by swinging down. A huge misconception in the whole softball community, not everyone, but a lot of times I'll get people writing to me saying that you can't let your barrel work slightly up in softball. Well, I've looked at all the best softball players, and all the best softball players turn their barrel and get their barrel to work slightly up into the ball. Because again, the ball is always going down. It's just going down a little bit less on the rise ball. It appears to rise because the other pitches are going more down. So the rise ball appears to rise, but remember, it does not rise. So let's talk about a couple of tips that will help you hit the rise ball. And it's not to swing down on the ball. Okay, so the first tip, and this is a mental thought. Nick, can you hold this ball actually for a second? Okay, so put it at the top of the zone. So let's say we're facing a pitcher that's throwing a lot of rise balls, and they're throwing the ball at the top of the zone. Go down a little bit more. So let's say that's a strike right there. Okay, so we know this pitcher likes to throw rise balls and likes to throw them at the top of the zone. What you're gonna do mentally is you're going to feel like you're gonna attack a ball's width above that ball. So if you're swinging at the rise ball and you feel like you're slightly under it and you're just not getting to it, you are going to attack that rise ball here. So this is where your barrel is gonna feel like it's getting behind instead of this. And if you think that, you'll end up hitting that. Now you might face someone that throws a little bit harder than you've ever faced before. There's pitchers out there that throw rise balls really fast, again, depending on what age you are. If it's way above your normal hitting speed, you might need to think that you're going to attack literally 2 balls above that ball right there. And again, we're not going to attack it like this. We're going to take our normal swing, but we're going to think 2 balls above, and you're going to hit this ball right here. Right? So that's all just a thought. That's not a physical action. So that's the first tip. Now, the second tip is you want to just push the ball down. So again, if they're throwing rise balls up here, well then I want to feel like I'm pushing everything down and I'm not going to expand up here. Because what happens is somebody throws a rise ball at the top of the zone and you end up swinging at the ball here because you're saying, oh, they throw rise balls up and you swing here. You should think the opposite. They throw rise balls up, I need to push the ball down. Instead of looking for the ball here, I'm gonna look a little bit more down. Because if I'm looking up here for the rise ball, right, that's what happens a lot. We expand up. We think, oh, they throw the ball up, they throw a rise ball. Now I chase this ball way up here. So in your mind, think about pushing the ball lower in the hitting zone. Okay, the third tip is your bat path. Now, we've talked in other videos about how you approach each pitch, but what I want you to think is that when you get a rise ball, the only thing that changes with your bat is that you are going to approach the ball a little bit flatter. So can you give me an example of like a flatter swing? So here's the rise ball, let's just say it's up. Okay, so there's a flatter swing, right? Now the barrel is still, if we had a blast motion on this, the barrel would still be working slightly up. Right? We wouldn't get a negative attack angle just because it's a rise ball as long as it's in the strike zone. So if it's in the strike zone, take a flatter swing at it again. So it's a ball in the zone, boom. So he's flatter. Now, if the ball is lower, attack this ball down lower. So here's the ball lower. Okay, as the ball goes down, he's going to be more over the plate. His barrel's going to work up slightly more. The higher the ball, the flatter his swing. Notice his posture is a little bit more like this. So he's changing on pitch height here, and as he's higher, this is obviously a little bit flatter than if the ball was down. So don't think I need to chop down at the ball, I need to swing down at the ball. As I said, I've watched all the best players, even on the high pitch, even on the Riseball, their barrel still turns behind the ball. They don't swing like this. It's a huge misconception in softball. So hopefully those tips will help you hit the Riseball better.